My generation grew up in 2D. My generation didn't have to worry about shaky, wildly panning camera and perspective shifts. My generation was happy with running to the right really fast, grabbing rings and chaos emeralds on the way. My generation knew, or thought it knew, what blast processing was. My generation may have been kind of stupid in this regard. My generation was left behind by the shift of the Sonic the Hedgehog series to a 3D, 3/4 overhead view. My generation has been complaining ever since. But I'm only talking about my generation. There's been a whole generation for whom this style of gameplay is fine and dandy, and for those who grew up in this generation, any vestiges of the last generation are unacceptable and archaic. So it's a blue hedgehog with two to do. Simple. Encounter a time-consuming demi-deity being controlled by his arch-nemesis, which shatters the very fabric of space-time and collapses all points in the Sonic mythos into one flat-weight blend, thus bringing together two separate iterations of said hedgehog, all Back to the Future style. Rather than creating a paradox, though, as presumably the entire game happens within paradox space, or at the very least some time-compressed world a la Final Fantasy VIII, the two are able to coexist and in fact are key to restoring order to the chunks of temporal debris littering the hub plane, if you will. By being very fast and presumably introducing relativistic distortion into the 9 areas displaced from the native chronologies, color and vibrancy are returned in the tangent characters ranging from Tails and Knuckles to the C-list of the Sonic pantheon like Vector the Crocodile and Charmy the Bee are rescued from the state of stasis left in the wake of this thing. Wow, that's a lot to swallow. Let me try to simplify things. Even faster. Each of the game's 9 zones are split into 2 acts, the first of which is an old-school 2D Sonic experience with none of the broken jump physics that plagued Sonic 4 Episode 1. If you haven't played a game in this franchise since Sonic and Knuckles, and you wouldn't be wholly unjustified in that regard, you'll be immediately at ease with this reinterpretation. There are 3D elements involved, mostly having to do with foreground and background shifts and some shiny camera effects, but the net result is exactly the same. You run to the right as fast as possible and try not to die. The second acts, though, explore the same terrain through the lens of a new era, the Sonic Adventure-style camera behind the runner model. As such, these acts play by that more recent rulebook, including homing jumps, 3D platforming, the occasional confounding viewpoint, or unexpected turn that flips your controls around at a moment's notice and poses the most vicious threat to your survival. The sense of speed is greater, it's true, but with great freedom comes great possibility that everything could break down at a moment's notice if you fail to hold the control stick in the correct direction following a particularly ambiguous camera angle. Upon completing both acts, the zone is liberated and the color and animation of your imprisoned cohort are restored. Complete the 3 zones in each sector, and that sector's challenge stages, 5 to a zone, are unlocked. You must complete 1 challenge in each zone in either 2D or 3D to obtain entry to the boss's domain, thus allowing you to give preference to your more comfortable mode of gameplay. The 3 major boss battles, as well as rival competitions against Metal Sonic, Shadow, and Silver, each yield a Chaos Emerald apiece, as these gems are no longer the sign of a thorough and dominant playthrough, but a mere plot point. From one side to the other, original canon to Sonic colors, this game feels like a concession to the bifurcated nature of the series itself. Rather than placate one constituency at the cost of another, Sega have managed to combine both styles into a middle road worth traveling, if only for a short time. The story itself tasks veteran speedsters for a mere sitting, though there's much more to explore and every time can be improved, if only by a fraction of a second. Despite the frequency at which you may find yourself traveling faster than it though, the sound is impeccable. The whole experience has a veneer of classicism, from the heavy leaning on a more refined violin sound to the why didn't we think of this before flute showcase that is the new Chemical Plant Zone. And in a rare, if unprecedented twist for a US release, the game not only includes competent English dub, save for the mute classic Sonic of course, not only a bilingual release, but an all-out hexalingual vocal performance bundling in the French, German, Spanish, and Italian dubs as well. Sonic has seen its ups and downs throughout its storied heritage, from being the first to pose a threat to Mario's dominance to his later status as beleaguered, washed-up icon with a rabid and unpleasable fanbase. Sonic Generations represents an attempt to merge these two factions with one big sensation that everyone can get behind. And when it's traveling that fast, there's plenty of room behind it. Put down your hate and enjoy it. I'm gonna go pass out.